Welcome to the Simply Vegan podcast, brought to you by the team at Vegan Food and Living, the UK's best-selling vegan magazine. I'm Holly Johnson, and each Tuesday I get together with my colleague Molly Pickering to share what we've been eating, what's got us thinking, and the new products that are worth trying. And don't miss our Thursday podcast, where we chat to some of the leading names in veganism. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, we'd love it if you hit the subscribe button, as it helps us to rate in the charts. It also means you'll be alerted to every new episode of your favourite podcast. If you're anything like me, life can quickly become chaotic, and finding fresh and nutritional vegan recipes can become another thing to add to the to-do list. Our best-selling magazine, Vegan Food and Living, is on hand to help. You can join us today and try an issue for just 99p by visiting veganfoodandliving.com/podcast or using code podcast when you order with us. You'll not only receive the magazine to your door, but also have access to thousands of plant-based recipes at your fingertips in our digital magazine archive, which is fully searchable and simple to use. Join us today and make cooking delicious vegan food that bit more exciting by visiting veganfoodandliving.com/podcast. April is IBS Awareness Month and also Bowel Cancer Awareness Month. So we are joined by nutrition experts Dr. Aparna Prinja and Shital Shah today. Hi guys, how are you?
Good, thank you. Hi, Holly.
So we're going to be talking all about the benefits of plant milks today, following the release of their new book, and also gut health as well, which is obviously important for so many different reasons. So what led you to write your new book? It's Plant Milk Power, is that right?
That's correct. So the book came about. Ben and I have been friends for a very long time, and we were in school together in our younger years in Mombasa, Kenya. And then fast forward a few years, and we met here in London through our daughters who go to the same school. And we both love food. So Aparna, being a doctor and nutritionist, has always said that, breakfast, when she sees her patients, breakfast is the one meal that she starts off with. It's, one that's easy to sort of change.
Start small changes.
With small changes. So she goes, why don't we write a book on breakfast? So that's what we did. We started experimenting. And then when we got to the milk sections and we were experimenting, we really got carried away and realized we had enough material for a book on its own. And that's how Plant Milk Power was born.
A lot of people think that plant milks are kind of a modern thing, aren't they? But they're not. They've been around for hundreds and thousands of years. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, people have been using plant milks, but not knowing that they're using it, because the label, I guess, is a more modern concept. Whereas, adding nuts and seeds to your, mixing it with a bit of liquid to form that milk, so as to speak, has been done for years.
And even coconut milks in the South Asian tradition.
Exactly. I mean, they use it in the cooking, South India, South Asian countries, even in the coast of Africa. It's very prevalent in the cooking.
And even tiger nuts, which are we featured in our book, the milk is made into a drink called horchata in Spain. For a very long time. And tiger nuts also grow quite freely in North Africa.
In North Africa, West Africa. So, yes, it's not an entirely new concept, but I guess the label may be a bit more modern. So it's just...
And all the nuts and seeds are probably ancient. They've been around for a very long time.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is it. I think I tried to make... Did you say horchata?
Horchata, yes.
Yeah, I tried to make that with tiger nuts once. It was a complete disaster. So
you need to follow the recipe in our book.
I do.
It's very easy.
And what a lovely taste.
Yeah, I need some help with that, I think. I love the idea of making all my own nut milks, but sometimes it's kind of a time thing, isn't it? What are the benefits of plant milks then? What kind of health benefits do they offer?
So the first thing I'll say with regards to the time, they're actually very quick. Most people, it's almost like a myth that nut milks or plant-based milks will take a long time to make. They don't. Our daughters make them for breakfast, for their smoothies.
My husband started making his own plant-based
There you
milk.
go. So Aparna's husband started making it. It literally takes no more than overnight soaking, and 5 minutes, if at that, in the morning. So it's very quick.
I have no excuse. I need to.
No, no one does actually.
You just have to soak them overnight. That's where you have to think about it, or soak some chia seeds that may go in them in the morning. But in the morning, you've soaked everything, it's ready. You just have to blend it and mix it and
drink it.
Add a fruit if you want, or, And
it's literally a 5 minute, less than 5 minutes, but, thereabouts. In terms of benefits, there are plenty. I mean, firstly, they're generally low in fat. And, if you're allergic
but they've got good fats.
But they've got good fats. I mean, they've got the healthy fats. If you're allergic or intolerant to dairy or lactose intolerant, then that's a perfect alternative. The other thing we'll say is that, especially if you make your own plant-based milks at home, you have complete control over what goes in it. So you take control over it. So, for example, if you want to increase your protein and iron and calcium, you add a bit of moringa leaf powder or chia seeds. Iodine, you use a pinch of kelp powder. So, it really gives you the control over what goes into your body.
And in a way, the title of our book is Plant Milk Power. So the power is, it empowers you to look after your health, take control of your health with something as simple as a plant milk.
Yeah, because a lot of the plant milks that you buy in supermarkets do contain things like added sugars or,
exactly.
or oils and things. So yeah, I'm gonna give that a go. And plus, it saves all that packaging. So
that's
yes,
right,
and it's fresh. That's the beauty of it. You're taking a nut or a seed. You've soaked it overnight. In a sense, you've activated it. Now you're blending it. You're taking all that goodness in then and there. It's not, the antioxidants are there, they're fresh. And if you're adding blueberries, for example, you're getting all those amazing things that help your brain health, fiber, some protein from the nuts and seeds, and chia seeds. So you're getting all these added benefits, like chia seeds. A little known fact is that they help endurance. The omega-3 parent fat that's found in chia seeds helps your skin, reduces inflammation. It's so good for you. And the amount of fiber you have in chia seeds is great for your gut. It's a great preventative for any gut illness in the future. So just adding simple things to your diet can help your gut hugely.
And it's almost like, I guess, in a way, alchemy. You're transforming a little seed or nut, and by blitzing it and mixing it with all these things, you've got this wonderful concoction that is so beneficial, and one that can be tailor-made holistically to suit your individual needs. That's the beauty about the book, or that's what we've tried to do anyway.
Yeah, and with the milks, when you drink them, you feel good.
So what are the advantages? I mean, obviously, we know all about the impacts of dairy on the environment and obviously on the animals. What kind of problems can dairy cause?
Basically allergy to the cow's milk protein,
exactly.
Lactose intolerance because dairy contains lactose.
Inflammation.
Yes, dairy causes inflammation because it contains compounds that are a bit like insulin growth factors, which can, cause inflammation in the body. So these are the ways dairy can affect you. And in ancient traditions, they used to call that phlegm,
yes,
or damp in the body.
And also in today's day, the milk that you buy off the supermarket, dairy's milk. Nobody, unless you know your source and how it's produced and all of that, making your own plant-based milk takes away that whole factor.
And of course, all the antibiotics, hormones,
everything
chemicals
that's
that are in today's milk, you want to kind of avoid that if you can.
So you're kind of bypassing that whole thing by taking control, by making your own milk, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you mentioned gut health. Why is having a healthy gut so important for our bodies?
Healthy guts contain, healthy bacteria and immune cells, which basically ward off, all the nasty viruses and fungi and bacteria. It basically helps keep your body, in good health. It also communicates with the brain via nerves and hormones. So overall, it just, helps with general good health in the body. Aparna will probably give you a bit more information on all of that.
So basically what Shital's talking about is our gut microbiome. And there's a gut microbiome to brain connection. There's also, people are now also looking at the mouth microbiome, where you look at the bacteria in the mouth, that colonize the gums, the teeth, the tongue, and, seeing which ones prevent caries or mouth cancers or candida growing in the mouth, which is a fungus. So this is kind of really exciting because things, we're going to be looking in the future at how we can take particular probiotics that can alter the gut and the mouth microbiome to help us lead healthier lives. So when we've done the mouth microbiome, but let's go to the gut one. The gut microbiome is populated with millions and trillions of bacteria. And I read somewhere there's more bacteria there than there are cells in our body. I mean, there's that many. And I thought that was quite interesting.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it? Yeah.
And all these bacteria in there confer some properties of health to the body. And if you have good gut bacteria in there, then you veer towards health. While if you have bacteria in there which may not be so good for the body, or there may be a lot of fungus or candida in there, then that takes you to a not so healthy position. Now, science is kind of still in the early stages of really finding out how this gut microbiome affects itself to help the brain. So if you have good gut bugs, how is it that when people take probiotics, maybe their depression is better, or their anxiety is better, or their cognition and mood, or whatever it is better? We still don't fully know. But what we do know is that there's another group of foods that we eat called prebiotics. Prebiotics are basically fibrous foods. You can have it in onion, garlic, your vegetables, apple, with the skin. And these prebiotics they're not digested, so they reach your large bowel, and they are the food for this probiotic bacteria. And so the probiotics feed on this fiber, and they produce healthy short-chain fatty acids. For example, they're called names like butyrate, which are then absorbed by the gut lining of the large bowel. And when they're absorbed there, they're utilized to maybe improve the fluidity of the gut lining. So foods can, or electrolytes or whatever can pass freely in between. There may be more calcium and phosphate, magnesium being absorbed, which is good for your bones, for example. There is an immune benefit to a healthy gut mucosa. There's lots of things that are, we're looking into now in science to see how this synchronicity of a good gut biome and good health, how that works really. And again, we may be prescribing probiotics in the future, particular ones for particular things, illnesses. But having probiotics definitely improves your gut health and is probably a prevention against bowel cancer, bowel disease, illnesses like that, as well as a good diet, as well as rest, relaxation, exercise, all these things. It's a combination, reduce your stress, but it's one factor which improves bowel health for sure.
Fascinating, isn't it? That, just what's in your gut can affect your mood. But then it does sort of make sense, because I know, so when you've sort of eaten a big meal and you're sort of all bloated and stuffed, you kind of feel a bit feel grouchy and tired. Whereas when when you eat something like that's really good for your body, really clean and, you know, vibrant and colourful, you kind of feel all energized yourself, don't you?
Yeah,
that's right. The gut brain connection is obviously there, but one that still needs to be looked a lot more into and I guess know a bit more about, because there is a connection. And we just can't pinpoint exactly how it works. But then that's the body for you, you know, holistically. Our bodies are it's such a well-oiled machine, but we probably fully don't understand the complete how it all works in tandem.
Do we need to take probiotics then, or can we just achieve optimal gut health through, you know, lots of nuts, seeds, fruit, vegetables and things like that?
I think you can get natural probiotics through fermented foods. You know, fermented foods such as the Korean kimchi, you know, soya products, miso, natto, tempeh. In Indian cuisine, you have that, we call it achar. It's fermented pickles. Or you can have idlis and dosa are made in a way they're fermented before they're made. Yes, fermented foods are really very good for you in terms of giving you these probiotics. However, if you can't get enough through eating fermented foods, then you do have to rely on supplements.
Okay. Yeah, it's confusing, isn't it? The whole pre and probiotics. So probiotics are in your gut already, is that right? And the prebiotics are in the foods, like you said, onions and garlic and things.
Correct.
Yeah. Right. I've got it. Finally. I always get confused. Well, that's great to know, because I think a lot of the time people think, oh God, I've got to take another supplement, you know, I'm sort of going vegan and I've got to take my B12 and my vitamin D and you know, now probiotics as well. So yeah, like fermenting food is a great idea, and that's quite easy to do as well, isn't it?
It's not difficult.
It's not difficult. I think if you know what you're doing, I mean, certain things like, you know, idlis and dosas, which is a South Indian dish, is something we do at home. So, you know, I guess in certain cultures, you're used to doing certain things a certain way and you get it naturally because that's just how it is. If fermentation is not part of, you know, then it's something you need to look into a little bit. And
do you think the Western diet is sort of responsible for a lot of the gut problems that we're experiencing?
I think so. It has been, they call it, well, in America, they call it the sad diet. I mean, the thing is, basically, when you look at what you're eating, I always tell everyone, try and eat the rainbow throughout the day. So you're trying to get nutrient diversity. That means you're having orange carrots, green beans, you know, some quinoa, maybe apple, blueberries. This is throughout your day. I mean, avocado, you know, maybe some chia seeds, you know, or whatever. You're having a range of foods, nuts, seeds, legumes, grains. And by having all these different foods, you're getting the goodness of the, you know, the quality of what that food does in your body. So, for example, with carrots, you get carotenoids and vitamin A, which are good for your eyes. For example, if you have ginger, that may be good for your gut in reducing spasm. It's anti-inflammatory. It's good for pain in your body.
It's a
digestive. Similarly, turmeric has similar qualities. You know, so you're combining different foods so that you get a boost of what we call nutrient-dense foods, so that your body can thrive. And then the more fiber, now, because we're talking about gut, all these foods contain fiber. Beans are high in fiber. All the legumes, as you say, peas, nuts, beans.
Fruits.
Then you have the vegetables and the fruits, the nuts and seeds, and your whole grains. They all have fiber in them. And you're really trying to increase that fiber, because that fiber acts as a broom in your system. It removes all the waste products, toxins, what the body doesn't need, gets them out of the body. You do have to drink more water when you start increasing the fiber in your diet through food even, so that, you know, it moves the system. And so through this process, you're cleaning up the gut and promoting a healthy gut. That is, of course, if you don't have any other diseases or inflammatory bowel disease, IBS, et cetera. There, you have to rethink your diet. But if you don't have any of these issues, then this is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we'd always encourage anyone to consult their doctor before changing their diet, especially if you have IBS or anything like that. I mean, with IBS, is it something that your gut can recover from?
For some people, they probably do get better, but they may go from better onto not so good again. However, the diet and the approach you take to your life, because stress is a big factor in IBS, can all help things, move in the right direction. And IBS has got so many different causes. It's not the same for each person. So those causes have to be looked at, and once dealt with, or improved, then healing can happen.
I guess once you find your trigger, what triggers it off, and you deal with that, then you know what to avoid, what to do, and then hopefully go forward in a positive manner.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think, it's definitely all about variety, isn't it? Because we get kind of stuck in a rut, don't we? We get up and we have our same bowl of cereal or piece of toast, and then for lunch we might have, a sandwich, and before you know it, you're eating a lot of bread and not actually an awful lot of, other colourful foods, like you say. Yes. So just trying to mix it up every day and just having all those staples. So you've got your fresh fruit and your veg. You've also got all your nuts and seeds and condiments and things like that you can kind of add in to, add flavour and texture. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And with our book, Plant Milk Power, we're trying to get you started on that path. Get a few of those things in easily.
Yeah, doing things from scratch. I think that's what we need to go back to, isn't it? Because we're living such busy lives. We're always sort of on the hunt for convenience. But I think it's taking it back to basics. Fascinating subject that, I know our listeners are very interested in. So where can we get hold of your book then? It's out now, isn't it?
It is. You can get it on our website, which is www.aharalife.com, or on Amazon.
Or from our publishers.
Our publishers also online on Waterstones and various other, bookshops. Lovely. So it is available, yes.
Okay, well, I'll definitely be grabbing a copy and having a go at that tiger nut milk again.
Let us know how you get on.
Exactly.
I will. Well, thank you so much, Aparna and Shital. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Well, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, maybe share it with a friend. We'd love to reach more listeners and to spread the word about how great a plant-based diet can be. Molly and I will be back on Tuesday, as always, chatting and reviewing new products and answering your questions. You can email yours to simplyvegan@anthem.co.uk.